Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference that happened in Johannesburg. And I'd like to welcome one of the gentlemen that were the organizers of this event. He's no stranger to South Africa. It's none other than Mr. Reveranf Frank Chikane. Reverend, thank you so much for joining us here on Hilaal TV.
Thank you very much.
Reverend, a conference like this, of course we had one back in December when it was the 5th Global Convention on Palestine, but this comes at a time where we see what is happening in Rafah right now. How important does the awareness become with regards to this?
Yeah, I mean the December one was really focused on the right of return, that Palestinians have the right of return. I've never seen a world where they say, the law says refugees and people who are displaced during the war can return back home, but Palestinians, no. Even the UN can't make it happen. But this one, it's really about strategy, a comprehensive strategy about how we're going to end this genocide, end the occupation, and make sure that the people of Palestine are free. And they asked us to do this, to convene this conference. And we have worked very hard to get the whole world here, you know, in terms of activists, in terms of professionals, lawyers, you know, advocates of this or the other, people who have researched, who have studied these issues, who are involved, to come together in one conference and develop a common strategy. We all know. People who are here are the most informed, know the state of affairs, know what happened, the history, the pain. But what we need is a strategy, a plan to make sure that we end it. And the people who are here will return back to their countries and go and mobilize. That's why this afternoon we'll have regional meetings where they meet together and say, in North America, what are we going to do? In Europe or Germany, what are we going to do? I think that's what we are expecting to happen here.
Reverend, when we see what's happening in Rafah right now, in a surprising turn of events, the US President Joe Biden says, well, I'm going to not give you any weapons if you enter Rafah. It's clear Benjamin Netanyahu has said that he said, I'm going regardless what happens. It's more like a case of a spoiled child doing what he wants to do. That impunity cannot happen, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it can happen. But, you know, I read about it after the conference yesterday. I listened to the news. I mean, what the Israelites have said is really go and jump. And now Americans are jumping on Biden. Even the largest funder of the Democratic Party has threatened Biden, you know, to say you can't do that. You can't withdraw arms. So I can't see how the United States will going to do that unless their citizens take a position. So that a person like that who funds the Democratic Party would not be able to succeed. So that's why for me the students, you know, the student protests, the churches, religious groups and communities, we need the Americans to take a stand and force their government to stop collaborating in the genocide against Palestinians.
United Nations, the General Assembly has passed a huge resolution on the recognition of the Palestinian statehood, of course. That's huge because this now gives additional measures for the Palestine cause to be strengthened even further, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's extraordinary. I mean, the only thing is that the United States will veto it if it tries to go to the Security Council. But that resolution is sufficient itself. It gives them more privileges and possibilities within the United Nations. And we must strengthen that and use that as best as possible. The resolution will come from here that we're going to call for the Anti-Apartheid Special Committee on Apartheid in the United States, which actually was abandoned after South Africa became free. We want that committee now to come back. We want to make sure that the United Nations is seized with this matter.
Reverend, let's come here at home, of course. The ICJ additional measures have been added to the case for Gaza. How confident is the government that there can be a quick solution on accountability and that these measures can be implemented? We know there's plausible measures from a legal perspective on genocide. Of course, in the court of public opinion, I think it's unanimous that there is a genocide that's happening. But from a legal perspective, the plausibility is there. How quick, how speedily does this need to happen in order for there to be those measures implemented for this impunity to stop right there?
If we were the United States, would stop it now. But we're not the United States. We can only push what we can, a bold stand, and we must give credit to South Africa on the spot. Yesterday, when I heard the announcement, I said, our country is really on the spot. But it can only do that. There is not more we can do to delegitimize the system, to show that it is indeed a genocidal system. And we are hoping that the world will hold on that and make sure that we don't actually stop. The world must use it, like the speech from the Director General from our DERCO today, is that we should use those entities and options to make sure that we achieve what we need to do to achieve.
Reverend, we've seen, of course, the, at Wits University, obviously the flags of Save Rafah go out. I mean, it reminded me of, apartheid time, or even when you see what's happening in the US during Vietnam, or even now, just how much the student protests, the student movements, you would know it so well. You saw it during apartheid. It's a sense of pride, isn't it, that South Africa continues to take the stand in so many occasions?
I'm actually pleased that the students are beginning to act. I was worried by last week that there was too much silence around, and now the vet students have taken the flag and stand firm against this genocidal system. I'm hoping that all the universities are going to join in that movement. And we must make sure that the world knows this is unacceptable. Impunity is not allowed, and no country must be treated as an exception. And I believe that South Africans, in South Africa, we may not agree on many things, but one thing we agree on is that Palestine must be free.
I couldn't agree more with you, Reverend. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hilaal TV.
Thank you.
That's Reveranf Frank Chikane, of course, one of the main organizers of the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference. My name is Reveranf Patel. Do stay tuned to Hilaal TV for more.